All right, council meeting of July 20th, 2021 is called to order. Let's all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and we'll have Councilmember James Bode lead us today.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with justice for all.
All right, thank you, James. Donna, will you do a roll call, please?
I will. Councilmember Schmidt,
Here.
Deputy Mayor Peterson,
Here.
Mayor Dorsey,
Here.
Councilmember Bode,
Here.
Councilmember Feast,
Here.
Councilmember Nesco,
Here.
and Councilmember McDowell is absent, so we'll need a motion.
All right, would you make a motion for Kathy?
I move to excuse Councilmember Kathy McDowell from this evening's meeting. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right. Does council have any late changes to our agenda tonight? If not, we can move on to council reports, if anybody has one of those. I have one thing to share. Oh, you got one, Joe?
Go ahead.
I got one thing to share. And I don't know how many, everybody probably already knows this, but the Pear Orchard Park and Ride is open.
Oh, right. Saw that today.
It opened on Wednesday. I just found out at my meeting over here just a little while ago. And the other ones are still on track. They're just waiting for these darn cameras.
Oh.
The security part and some lighting. Contractors are having a hard time getting them, so
It looks great.
Yeah.
Big improvement.
Very cool.
it'll be open soon. All right. Oh, go Joe.
So last Thursday afternoon, all of a sudden I smell campfire smoke and I hear sirens and then I hear helicopters and it's wildfire season in Shelton. Last Thursday was pretty real. We had 3 really close to the city limits. Obviously, everything ended up shaking out really good and positive, but just a reminder that it's wildfire season and resources get depleted quickly, and we're very thankful for our firefighters and our mutual aid assistance from outside of the city and our dispatchers as well. It was a tremendous effort, but just wanted to recognize our local firefighters and what they do at this time of the year and how volatile these conditions really are. So do your part to keep the fire break around the house and no sparks, keep it wet, as opposed to keep it dry. So just wanted to bring that up. So, thank you.
Forest fires.
All right. All
Only
right, thanks, Joe.
Thanks.
All right, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as published?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, I see Donna is on her way out there. Heidi McCutcheon is here to present the second quarter LTAC report for the chamber. Hi Heidi,
Hello.
we're ready when you are.
Okay. Well, on behalf of the chamber, I'm pleased to give you this update on the visitor information services we've provided on behalf of the city of Shelton for second quarter of 2021. You can see visitor services for second quarter last year, for the same period, were closed for the caboose and were greatly reduced for Hood Sport as well as the chamber office. So I am pleased to tell you that numbers are, of course, on the rise. We're seeing probably about 50% of the visitor totals at our Hood Sport Visitor Center as what we would in a typical year. We are seeing that oftentimes as people are coming into the information centers, that one person will come in and ask the information, or 2 people, and leave some of their group outside. So it is, they're being conscientious of the volunteers and staff there to make sure that everybody is safe and protected. For visitor services, I'm sure you've all noticed the glorious flower baskets that are up throughout town. We were able to do those again this year. We're very thankful to the city as well as the PUD and Hood Canal Communications for helping install and being our partners with that. We don't use any tourism funds for that, but very often we hear from our visitors, gosh, it's just such a welcoming place, and we're so thankful for that. We have some numbers here for you for our different Facebook pages, which is a main way that we help get information out to visitors and residents alike. Our Shelton Mason County Chamber page, we have about 3,500 followers and have a reach of just shy of 120,000 for that 3-month period. The Hood Canal Visitor Center page, we have far less followers there, but the reach is still up there. Group pages, we also do the Eat Local Mason County as well as Mason County Job Seekers. Those are very active pages. Those are a really good way for us to get the word out about different things that are happening in Mason County as well. We did publish a quarterly issue in March for Business Matters. The cover was a plan and a place for Shelton's homeless, and there were other articles and information that we also shared on behalf of the City of Shelton. We also have a great reach on masonchamber.com. You can see there that there was about 18,000 page views, and our top 5 pages there was the community events calendar, our chamber member list, Mason Lake Recreation Area, Expo, and then the workforce shortage survey. And I think that is all that I have for you, unless you guys have any questions.
All right, anyone have questions for Heidi? Seeing none, thank you very much.
All right, my pleasure, thank you.
All right. All right, we've come to our, I think Donna has run out to the civic area there. Okay, Donna, we're moving on to our general public comment. Do we have anyone interested?
I just went and checked, and no, Mr. Mayor, there's not anyone signed up.
At this time, we're going to recess from our regular meeting to open a public hearing. Finance Director Aaron B. Miller is going to share information about sewer averaging for summer consumption.
Thank you, Mayor. Hello, Deputy Mayor, council members, good evening. Aaron B. Miller with the Finance Department. The ordinance in front of you would temporarily suspend Shelton Municipal Code Sections 1428.020C and 1428.040C. What those two sections of the code do is they establish that for the summer months of June, July, August, September, and October, we use the previous November, December, January, February, and March sewer bills to summer average, and it's a cost savings or a rate savings, if you will, for our residents, for our customers. In September and October of 2020, we went through a phase where we had a lot of misreads, and those misreads were corrected in the November bill. And so what this would do would eliminate November of 2020 as part of the test months, if you will, or the averaging months for the summer averaging. It will, in fact, lower the summer averaging because so many of those bills were artificially high to catch up for what were misreads. So that's what this ordinance would do. It will sunset and become void the 1st of November 2021. So we'll get back to what it was, and there doesn't need to be action taken to void this. The ordinance itself voids at that point in time. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Anyone? Joe?
Just a thought, we had kind of discussed when, I believe we were first in briefing, we were going through the agenda. One of the things that, so I irrigate my lawn, and one of the things I've noticed over the last few years is the drier season seems to be backing up closer and closer. And I'm just kind of curious, I know a lot of, not just myself, but I know lots of other folks are irrigating and, watering flowers and plants and things like that earlier in the season. And I'm just curious if there would be a financial impact, and if so, how significant, and what we can potentially do to add or adjust that window to include the month of May. Again, I know my data, but I don't necessarily know what the rest of the town, city looks like. So that was just a suggestion, thought there.
I don't know off the top of my head exactly what that would mean from a revenue standpoint, but I think that it would be easy enough for us to come back with a study, not, with a mapping
I
maybe
gotcha.
of what the revenue impact would be and how that would associate against the sewer comp plan at the same time, and what does that mean? I don't think that would take long for staff to put together.
I mean, I agree. I started watering probably in mid-April, and I've actually had some other people comment on that, and it actually would be a fair thing to look at and do, because they aren't using the sewer system, and when their bill goes up, or their water consumption goes up quite a bit in May from watering, so I think it would be great also.
All right, anyone else? Okay, thanks, Aaron.
Appreciate it.
Now we'll ask for public testimony, Donna.
No one has signed up, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Ask for the first reading of ordinance number 1972-0621.
Ordinance number 1972-0621, an ordinance of the City of Shelton, Washington, temporarily adjusting sewer averaging for the summer consumption charge for calendar year 2021.
All right, thank you. Do we have a motion?
I move that we forward this ordinance to the August 3rd City Council meeting for further consideration.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second to forward this ordinance to the August 3rd City Council meeting for further consideration. I'm assuming we have no more questions for Aaron. All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Public hearing is closed, and we will resume our regular meeting. Another item from Aaron, a resolution regarding storm drainage charges for commercial accounts.
Thank you again. On June 1st of 2021, the council approved ordinance 1969-0321, which modified the rate structure for storm drainage from the old tier system to the new ESU system. As part of that, council asked that we come back and provide commercial accounts with a 20% discount for a year on the new rates. And that's what this resolution would do, is it would make that 20% effective for a year. One note that we'd like to make is when this comes back, we are going to add some language to the resolution itself, and that language will essentially say that for each account, only one discount will apply, and it will be the largest of the discount. So for those entities that have a discount because they have an NPDES permit, they will still get the 80%. It's not an 80% plus a 20%. So the 80% will apply there. We have several accounts where we have rainwater harvesting, and those accounts get 10%. They would be shifted up to the 20% savings as the rest of the commercial accounts. This also the resolution itself will sunset as of June 30th, 2022. So there won't be more action needed to repeal this. Again, it will sunset automatically. And again, happy to answer any questions.
All right. Well, I think Donna's running back out there again. I guess we'll just pause for 30 seconds.
No public comments, sir.
All right, thank you, Donna. No public comment? All right, I'll ask for a motion.
I move that we forward this resolution to the August 3rd City Council meeting for further consideration.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. No questions for Aaron, right? We have a motion and a second to forward this resolution to the August 3rd City Council meeting for further consideration. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right.
Mr. Mayor, if I could interrupt really quickly, because we're recorded and we do have members of the public available to, space available for them to comment here, we also are still running the hybrid system with this being broadcast on video. So I want to make it clear that as we have done for the last year, if there are public comments from members of the audience watching at home, my email and my telephone number is available if anybody would like to make a comment or participate as we're holding these types of meetings.
All right, thank you, Jeff. All right, Public Works Director Jay Harris has details for us about an EM&R roller surplus.
Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, Council. Jay Harris, your Public Works Director. Tonight, this is the roller saga. This is the third time I've talked to you about rollers, okay? This will be the last one for a while. So last year, we bought a small roller, and then because of COVID and all that, we sort of held off and to see what our funds were going to be. And we were able to buy another roller. So we bought 2 rollers last year. The old roller, which is a 1995 roller, needs to be surplus. It's near end of life, and we have the 2 other rollers that we're obviously using. So we wanted to surplus the rollers to the Department of Enterprise Services, so we drive them down to Olympia, I think.
Tumwater.
It's Tumwater? Okay. And drop them off down there. And we've been taking some things down there. We still need to get a fire truck down there, by the way. Anyways, we think the value of the roller is somewhere around $6,000. It'll go up for auction. So you have a resolution before you tonight to authorize the surplusing of the 1995 roller.
All right. We should pause for 30 seconds.
Yes, I'm going to start that timer while I go out and check, and I'm sorry I forgot that piece.
I'll go ahead and check, Tom.
Okay.
Jay, you'll have to stop by the state surplus. You can go over there and check on all sorts of cool stuff.
Yeah. So I get emails from them all the time about various things that they have that they're auctioning off that we could go down and get. So they got a lot of different things down there from what I hear.
They get all the pallets and all of the like pocket knives and stuff from the airport.
Okay.
Good time, I'm just saying.
That's 30 seconds, Mr. Mayor, and I don't think anyone signed up, is that right?
That's
Someone's
Okay.
out there, all right, thank you. All right, do we have a motion, please?
I move to place resolution number 1203-0621 on the August 3rd action agenda for further consideration.
All right,
Second?
second, all right. Thank you. We have a motion and a second to replace, to place resolution number 1203-0621 on the August 3rd action agenda for further consideration. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Now on to the action agenda. City Engineer, Mr. Ken Gill, has information for us about a project award for the Park Street overlay.
Hurry up, Ken.
Thank you.
Good evening, council. It's good to see your smiling, bright faces here tonight. And I think it's really great that we had the finance director talking about sewer tonight, not the city engineer. So that is a good thing to have happen. So tonight I'm here to talk about Park Street. So a couple weeks ago, I talked to you about the 6 bids we received. Big thanks to Brooke and Donna for working that small works roster process. Bids range from 263 to 416. So that is a huge, huge, big-time win for Shelton. Granite Construction's coming to town. They're a big-time contractor that can kick this out. And right now is the time to redo Park Street from 1st to 7th because Cascade Natural Gas had it all dug up and patched for the last couple of years, replacing the gas main in it, similar to what they're doing around town. So I don't have anything else to prepare tonight, other than if you have any questions, I'm here to answer them.
Okay, we'll get to that in just a minute. Pause 30 seconds.
Pause 30 seconds.
We should have the Jeopardy theme.
Well, we definitely have the weather for road work, don't we? I'll watch it rain when you guys start.
Don't you jinx us.
That was 30 seconds, and we have no comments.
No comments, all right, thank you. Can you give me a reading of resolution number 1202-0621?
Yes. Resolution number 1202-0621. A resolution of the Council of the City of Shelton, Washington, authorizing the city manager to approve a public works contract with Granite Construction Company for completion of the Park Street Overlay Project.
All right. Do we have a motion?
I move to adopt resolution number 1202-0621, a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign the contract with Granite Construction Company for completion of the Park Street Overlay Project and execute any change orders up to 10% of the original contract price.
All right. We have a motion and a second to adopt resolution number 1202.
Point of order, we need a second.
I'll second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
James has got a second.
Thank you.
And I have a question. Do we have any plans to knock out a few more roads before the summer's over, since we're so far under budget?
We've got a chip seal project that we awarded to Sierra Santa Fe. It goes from where they left off at the hospital to the intersection of Wallace Neyland Boulevard. They also have a project working for the city of Lakewood, and they want to time that project with ours because they're moving from Jeff's former employer for Ridgefield is where their home base is at. So we're still coordinating that with them and trying to, making sure that that gets happens this year. So you'll see a lot of chip seal companies and asphalt trucks in town shortly.
Yep, that's great. People kindly voted in the Transportation Benefit District so we can get these roads all fixed up and potholes gone. It's great that we're using their money to fix them up.
Now, Park Street is all ready to go, right, as far as the gas is done and those people are all done, moved on?
The gas is complete. In addition to that, Matt Deemer, with your public works staff, has went and replaced all the galvanized water services that exist up and down the road. And also Matt Dixon, the two Matt Ds, have replaced the sewer services existing there, any ones that were in need of replacement. So it should be another 3 inches of asphalt on top of what's already there, and that road should last us long beyond my lifetime.
And really quick, and again, Park Street is not a truck route.
Correct.
Get that out there.
I saw a few today.
I was at Music of the Park, you probably saw about 9.
All right, we're gonna work on that.
Yep.
We got signs coming, right, that are,
We have signs that are expected this week, and we have a public rollout of that rollout. We're talking about asphalt, not intentional. We have a public rollout of that initiative coming up soon to protect the bridge over Goldsboro on 7th and to protect Park Street for, as Ken said, his lifetime. Although, hopefully that's another 80 years or so.
okay, so we have a motion and a second to adopt resolution number 1202-0621, a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign the contract with Granite Construction Company for completion of the Park Street Overlay Project and execute any change orders up to 10% of the original contract price. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, thank you, Mr. Gill.
Thank you.
I will say before you go, kudos for your partnership with Puget Sound Energy. They're going through the neighborhoods right now, replacing a lot of our light poles and stuff. So thanks for your coordination with that and your partnership.
And welcome back from vacation. All right, so move on to administration report. Jeff, will you give us your city manager report, please?
Absolutely, Mr. Mayor, Deputy Mayor, members of council. I have a couple of things to talk about tonight, but the first thing I wanted to mention was the expo that took place last Friday. Fantastic event. I haven't seen that many people out in the sunshine, for the most part, for quite a while, and that was great to see. It was a lot of fun to see people up and down the street. We had our city booth out there, partners with YMCA. There was a ton of community organizations and businesses that participated in that, and it was great to see. I can't wait to see more of that in the future. Second thing I wanted to mention, we have our new senior engineer started yesterday. His name is Mike White, and he's getting settled in and finding out where everything is and getting the keys so he can get in the building. We will endeavor to have him here at your August 3rd meeting just to introduce him to all of you in person. But that should be a great addition to the team, and it should help facilitate permit review more quickly so we can get those things rolling along with the new engineering standards, which Mr. White has a tremendous amount of experience with. So that should help out quite a bit. We do have, in an effort to help Shelton School District and the high school with their new Met building, we have, they are, I should say, signing construction along Spring Road in front of the high school. The delay should be minimal, but there will be some folks out there with the slow, see them all over town now, but something similar to that so they can get the sewer line across the road to that new building. We want to help them as much as possible to get that open, but we also want to communicate with the public when that's going to happen. So wanted to make sure that I mentioned that tonight. It'll be ongoing intermittently throughout the week, so be prepared to see that happening, and when it happens, that's what it's all about. Let's see. We're starting after a little bit of a delay due to a worldwide pandemic. Our new branding exercise, branding exercise launched today. We're going to be speaking about that quite a bit, but basically what the effort is to ask people what are the 3 words that best describe Shelton to you, because really what a brand is all about, and for a brand to be successful, is that it has to be authentic. And to get that authenticity, we want to ask the people that call this community home what they think, what it's all about. And from that data that we gather, we are going to work with a graphic designer and people much more creative than myself to come up with a design that the council will take a look at. 3, 4, or 5 designs council will take a look at, and then we'd like for the community to have a choice between 2 or 3 at the end and tell us which one that they like the best, which one best represents the essence of Shelton, what it's really all about to be here. So we're going to start that work. We want to launch that with the launch of our new website in January of 2022. So you'll see quite a few changes in the digital arena over the next 6-7 months. That goes along with all our technology upgrades, which you were briefed about at your last council meeting, the implementation of those things, and those things are going really well so far, getting all those technology upgrades in place. I want to go over the looking ahead real quick so you know what to expect on the 3rd at our next council meeting. We will have a public hearing on the franchise agreement with our partners at PUD3. We will have an update to the ordinance for Shelton Municipal Code 8.08 that is in conjunction with a memorandum of understanding with our partners at Waste Connections. And then, of course, the things that you heard tonight will be on your action agenda. And with that, the last topic of discussion I wanted to bring up and allow council to have a discussion about, an exchange of ideas about, is how council likes to receive information from me and for the rest of your team. So currently, for the last several years, and up to this previous week, we've done a briefing format where I basically download all the information that's happened in the previous 2 weeks to council, just to make sure that you are all up to date with what's happening in the city and what to expect going forward. There's a suggestion been made that we go to a work session type of format where we can do work sessions on off Tuesdays, depending on the time, whether that's during the business day or whether that's in the evening. And that I would keep you up to date via email every Friday just on the operational things that go on. Happy to do it either way. I'm happy to provide information to council in whichever way they think best fits their needs. So with that, I'll turn it over to council, have a discussion, and we'll move forward from there.
All right, thank you, Jeff. So we move on to, does council have anything to discuss?
Well, perhaps I'm not to put you on the spot, Joe Schmidt, but since you weren't able to weigh in last time, perhaps we could hear your thoughts on the subject and kind of kick off our conversation.
Yeah, I'm a fan of study sessions. That said, I think as long as we have the ability to freely ask questions with subject matter experts on staff, I think that'll suffice. And I'm a fan of just a weekly kind of recap of those operational issues. That said, I do know, sometimes not everything needs to be explicitly stated in an email, and in that case, I think it's fine to have, phone calls or one-on-ones in between, and Jeff's always been available anytime I've got questions, so I don't really see an issue of not getting information or anything like that. I just think it would be better, the study session format would be better for the collective group, the 7 of us, to talk about a single issue together as opposed to broken up into the various groups. I thought that was a good call. But everything else, in my opinion, could probably be, synthesized down to just a weekly status email, and the bigger topic items fall into study session.
Okay.
So.
Sorry, I'm already on the record, so I don't need to repeat myself. Now, on the study sessions, is that going to be a business item, or are we now going to go to a 4-touch rule? Are we going to discuss it in the study session, then we're going to discuss it in the next meeting, then we're going to vote on it in the next meeting?
The way I see it, and if council wants to go to a 4-touch rule, that's fine. We can do that too. But the way I see it is the study session would be a touch to discuss the topic, provide staff with direction, both myself and whichever department that particular issue falls into. And then we put that information together, present it to you on the business agenda, and then again on the action agenda. So that would be the 3-touch part. The same would be true for something like, and I don't want to pick something out of thin air, but something more minor that doesn't necessarily call for a study session, where the email, any issues like that I would highlight in bold and italicize and underline and all the other stuff in the email, so that council is aware of them, and we would count that as a touch as well. In addition, I think anything that, the operational issues that I talked about, anything that we put in an email that even a single council member would like to see as a study session, I think that council ought to have that ability to write me back, don't reply all, write me back and say, I think this needs to be a study session, and we can certainly set that up.
Real quick, was there sideboards on time as well with that?
So one of the things I would like to hear from council tonight is whether the study sessions ought to be in the evening, like we have currently, or during the business day. I do think that study sessions ought to be limited to 2 hours, very similar to the way we do council meetings. It kind of puts borders around the discussion, and helps all the individuals that are participating in the discussion focus on the topic. So I would suggest a 2-hour time limit, and whatever time of the day that the majority of the council desires, we can do that, whether it's, 9 to 11 in the morning, or whether it's 6 to 8 in the evening. It doesn't matter to us necessarily.
So I had mentioned during my last briefing with Jeff that, I'm flexible on the time for the study sessions if there's an issue with anybody else, in the evenings, because it's gonna be kind of like almost every week now, a Tuesday evening meeting. So if there was a desire to change that up a little bit and do, within the business day, afternoon or morning or something like that, I would be on board with doing something like that for that. But keeping the business meeting on the same schedule that we have it now, but the study sessions being, during the workday kind of thing, if we needed to do that.
I mean, I would prefer the mornings.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm
It-
completely flexible.
Is it possible to do study sessions then on like our briefing days?
On a Friday,
Mhm.
we all have different briefing days, I think.
Yeah.
right?
If
Day
we
of
get
the
it
week's
like on a
good.
Friday morning or a Thursday morning?
We can do whatever, we'll switch up our schedule to fit the needs of council.
It's gonna be very tough for me to do a
Gotcha.
day meeting on
Totally.
a Monday through Thursday situation.
Okay.
Fridays are, you know,
many left though either.
that's true too.
Go around your schedule doesn't make a
No, for sure. So, I was gonna put that out there, James, that I'm not, up for going on with council, and so I'm here to be flexible. I'm just letting you know that if you do go during the day, on a Tuesday, I will end up missing some meetings between now and the end of the year.
Gotcha.
Fair enough. Yeah, just, fair, yeah, just a suggestion, so.
The only thing I would say is that prefer not to have study sessions on the same day of the week as council. And the reason why I say that is we have public notice requirements, we have materials that we have to put together for whether it's a study session or whether it's a work session. I'm just afraid of it getting a little too confusing when, am I putting this together for approval? Am I putting this together just to study? What do we have to notice? All those kind of things. I would like to keep things as simple as possible, just to minimize mistakes.
I think it definitely needs to be earlier in the week, though, because you don't want to have a study session on a Friday and want to do some business or action on Tuesday. So, that's what, 4 days or whatever. So it needs to be the beginning of the week, whether it be Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, agreed. So one of the things I would say, one of the kind of protocols we would follow in that instance is if we have a study session on something, it will not be on the agenda the next week. It will be 3 weeks out.
Yeah, but we don't want to hold up city business because of that. We want to move things along. We want road projects done before it starts raining and even worse.
Sure.
So, we don't want to be waiting three and 4 weeks to get some of this stuff done.
Right, but it's no different than having briefings on a Friday.
Yeah.
Essentially, because we're still out.
Well,
a week
yeah,
and
but
a
the
half
public-
before the next meeting.
But the public needs advance notice of this stuff. So if you have a meeting on a Friday, and then Jeff's got to let the public know by Monday that we're going to be doing something, or there's just not enough notice there.
But it would be another week out.
It shouldn't be, though. We shouldn't be holding up city business.
Well, then that's different than what was just expressed. I think that's what we need to clarify.
Yeah, so for projects like public works contracts, I don't necessarily see those coming as a study session.
Yeah.
And this will be a learning curve for me, so that's why I'm saying when I send out those emails, if there's something that on there that you think needs a study session, so I can get a feel of what you expect, because this is, it's a different format, so I want to make sure we meet your expectations. But for something, and we'll pick one that we've already done, the sewer rates, right, or the stormwater rates. We would have a work session on that, say on a Tuesday at noon. Doesn't matter what it is. The next week would be a council meeting date. The discussion in the study session is going to inform what will be on the agenda packet. So that discussion would not be a part of the council's regular business agenda the following week. There's just no way for us to meet notice requirements and
Right.
provide the public with adequate information.
Yeah.
So it would be study session this day, 3 weeks until the next council meeting. So it's kind of think of it as a rolling system.
I guess getting back to the, the driver behind this, Councilmember Bode brought this up, and I thought it was right on the heels of the stormwater situation, the stormwater rate setting discussions, and I personally felt the same way. I felt, it would have been much better to just have the 7 of us in the room, to kind of just hash it out. Again, along with staff and whomever else would need the consultants or whomever. So we could ask those questions, we could all hear the questions being asked, and, the body language, the tone, and all that stuff is important, when we're getting to that point. And again, not saying that I didn't have information when I asked for it, it was just, we just maybe weren't hearing the thoughts and feelings of others. So I think that's a good call, and regardless of the format or the touch rules, in my opinion, I mean, we're gonna follow the Open Public Meetings Act, we're gonna notice when we need to notice and all that stuff, none of that changes, so I'm not concerned about dates and times and locations. My point is, I'm flexible, and if it's a win across the board, let's do it. If not, perfectly fine keeping it the way it is, so.
And to be fair, there are weeks when, basically everything's relatively simple and there won't be a work session. But there are weeks when we'll need the full 2 hours, so happy to set it up. We can go on a trial basis. If there's something you would like to see different, let us know. We're very open to changing that to suit your needs as council members to get the information you need to make a decision.
So then maybe the suggestion, if we're looking for a suggestion for tonight, and how we want to proceed, is when we seat the next council, they can entertain a new schedule if they wish. But for now, I would be fine, just keeping it on the Tuesdays, the off Tuesdays, every other Tuesday or whatever. And same time, same thing. And then if, in a few months, the majority wants to do something a little different, I think it'd be fine to open it back up in January and see about adjusting time. Plus, winter months, et cetera, it'll be, it might just be a good time to have that discussion. But anyway, just feel like I throw that out there.
Yeah. So in this instance, our next regular council meeting would be August 3rd. So the first work session, if one is necessary, would be August 10th. That's the Tuesday. It would be at 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. if need be. And those items to be discussed, to be determined. Does that work for everybody?
Good place to start.
I hate to go down, but just to make sure it's all straight, our regular meetings are business meetings,
That's right.
and the study session or work session,
Study session, work session, are interchangeable.
what do we
Same
want to
thing.
call it?
Yeah.
Probably need to be consistent.
Yeah, what do you guys want to call
Study
it?
session?
Study session, I think is what we've called it
Okay.
for now, but,
Mhm.
okay. So study session and
Fine.
regular business meetings.
I just want to add that, I think I've already put my feelings out there once on it. I want to say that I am very flexible. Coffee beans will wait for me, okay? I can make that work. They don't talk back much.
And if they
However,
do, you
I
just
just-
roast them, right?
Yeah. I don't know, I kind of like the way we do it now. I'm not saying, well, I guess what I'm saying is, I'd like to leave it like it is until the new people come in at least, and let them have a voice. And, but what it comes down to is I will do what the majority of the council wants to do.
Well, you have my vote, so.
I'm with Kevin, it's what the majority of the council wants here, so.
That's how
I
this
would
has to
prefer
work.
the-
It has to work this way.
Yeah.
And I think we've all worked together pretty well for
3
3
years.
years now, some of us 2 years.
3 years. Oh, yeah.
And I think we can do this one. I think we can make this work somehow, so.
Yep, so I'll just be clear, and I would like to start the study session process on Tuesday nights, opposite of our business meeting nights.
Yep.
I'll second that. revisit if for whatever reason it doesn't seem to work or whatever, we can have another conversation, but I'm,
What I
Press
heard
on.
was starting August 10th.
Yep,
yep.
that's what the plan would be.
That will be real easy.
Yeah, starting August 10th, assuming there's something that rises to the level that needs a study session.
I would,
Yeah. So we will set that up. We'll make sure you get all the materials. And start this new format. But I do want to just make clear to all of you that nothing, as far as getting in touch with me, if you want to stop by and sit down, chat, about whatever, or give me a call or an email or a text, I will still be as available as I have been over the last couple of years, 3 years, so. Okay?
All right. Are we good? Our next meeting will be Tuesday, August 3rd, 2021, at 6 o'clock. This meeting is adjourned at 6:46 or 7? 47, let's put it.
Okay.